Eid is a time of joy, gratitude and unity. And if you were to ask me to put all of that into a plate, then I would say korma, of course. So let's get straight into this one. We're first going to start off by finely chopping 6 onions nice and fine. Now separately to a pan, we are going to add a half a cup of some normal oil and the 6 onions that we finely chopped up earlier in the process. We're going to make sure now that we give these a good mix. This is now then followed by 1 spoon of some salt. We're going to constantly stir our onions in the pan as it is quite easy to burn them. They should be looking nice and brown. If it's not looking brown, or if it's a different color, then you've definitely left your onions in there for too long, or maybe even too less. So do make sure that you don't overcook them. Now we are going to add a series of some spices into our pan. These are of course in the description, so there's no need to panic, of course. We've also added in some cardamom, followed by 1 tablespoon of some ginger and garlic paste. We'll then obviously bring this all together on a high heat. Now added in 1 kg of our mutton meat. You can also try this with other cuts of meat as well, but of course in our case we have used mutton. We're going to mix this all together with our spices, and then we are going to add in 1 tablespoon of some salt. This is then of course followed by 1 tablespoon of some turmeric. Okay, we're now going to add in 1 teaspoon of some coriander powder. This is then followed by 1 teaspoon of some paprika. And lastly, 1 tablespoon of some chili powder. Now going to of course bring this all in together, making sure we do mix this all in quite well into our meat. Now I'm going to add in 1 cup of some water, and we are going to leave this to cook for approximately 20 minutes to an hour. It just depends on when your meat will be fully cooked. Now separately to a blender, we have added in 10 almonds. Now taking out our almonds and added in half a cup of some milk. We are of course making a paste. Now separately we are going to break apart 4 green cardamoms, and separately 2-3 tablespoons of some Kevra water. We are going to of course add the seeds of the cardamom, followed by a little bit of our saffron. Now separately we are going to of course add in our fried onions that we fried earlier on in the process, and we are going to bash this together. Separately to a blender, we are going to add in 4 tablespoons of some yogurt and the remainder of the onions that we fried on earlier on. We're going to blend this together. This should hopefully create a nice paste. Once it is looking like that, we are going to go and check up on our korma, which should be nicely bubbling and sizzling. Of course, we're going to mix this as we have done so before. We're going to add this paste, of course, into our korma. Make sure that we get all of the paste in there, and we are going to, of course, bring this all together and let it get acquainted. We're going to let our korma cook through, and we are, of course, also going to add in the milk mixture that we created up earlier on in the process. Once this is done, we are going to add in a little bit of our fried onions that were left over into our korma. This is then followed by, as always, a good mix. Once we have bring this together, we're going to add less than half a teaspoon of some Jafil javitri powder, and then we are going to add in 1 cup of water. In our case, we've added in 1 cup of water. If your korma is quite dry, then you can add in a little bit more. We are then of course going to let this, now on a high heat, we are going to let this cook for approximately 20 minutes or so. Now we are going to add in our Kevra water and 3 drops of some korma essence. Now garnish this up with some ginger and some skinless almonds. That is pretty much the korma recipe completed. We've had this with some roti, but you can also serve this up with some nice hot garlic and coriander naans. It does taste absolutely great with that. And that is pretty much the recipe, guys. Do definitely give this one a try. It is a perfect recipe if you're having guests over, or of course for Eid. Do definitely give this a try and let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we hopefully will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.